studying a selection of Greek verbs using the Anki spaced repetition flashcard program. This may take a while, and I fully expect to make a lot of mistakes, but if you keep listening, you will have a chance to hear me say many of these words several times. And if you enjoy the sound of Greek verbs, that may be interesting for you. And who knows, maybe you'll pick up one or two things as well. I really think that vocabulary study is an important part of learning any language, and you have to keep up with it. Unfortunately, I have fallen behind with my Greek. Well, sometimes life gets in the way. I'm sure we can all appreciate that. So, without any further ado, let's begin. Modern Greek verbs. Here we go. You will notice that the translations are given in Dutch, English, and German. I do not speak Dutch or German, but this is not a deck of my own making. I must confess that I found this collection of Greek verb flashcards ready-made on the internet. But if you have the opportunity, why not? Okay, here we go. Light set fire to anavo. Anavo. I remember this because it sounds similar to an oven. I imagine lighting an oven. Anavo. Let's see. Yes, here it is. Anavo. We will say that that was good. Pay. To pay. I know this ends with riso. No, rino. Rino. Something like agnorino or something like this. What is it? Oh, dearie me. Plirono. Plirono. I've tried to remember this word as related to Rolos or something. Rolos are a kind of chocolate candy filled with caramel that's very popular in my home country. Plirono, plirono. There must be a better way to remember this word to mean pay for something. Plea, plea. Perhaps I'm making some kind of plea for payment. Please pay me. Please pay me. Perhaps a man called Ron owes me some money, and I'm saying, please Ron, pay me. Pliron, pliron, plirono, plirono. Let's see if I remember it next time. Again. Psarevo. This is to fish. I remember this because it's related to the Greek word for fish, which is, I think, psari, or something like that. Psarevo. To fish. There we go, easy. We say that that was a good performance, and I will see this flashcard 21 days from now. Okay, now what's this? Afero. Afero. This is to remove or something like this. To remove, I think. Good. For this one, I imagine an Egyptian pharaoh ordering that someone or something be removed. Remove it, take it away, says the pharaoh. A pharaoh. Remove, take away. Okay, good. But I wasn't entirely sure, so I will say hard. Slide, slip, glide, slide, slip, glide. I'm only paying attention to the English here. I have no idea about the Dutch. I'm sure I couldn't even pronounce it. Or could I? Let's have a look. What's this? Gleden, possibly. Gleden. Uitgleden. Oh, I don't know if it's right at all, but in any case. Slide, slip, glide. No, I don't know. Okay. Glistrau. Okay, I knew this. Well, obviously I didn't know it, but I should have known it. Glistrau, glistrau. Glistening. The road is glistening, and so it is slippery. Glistrau, glistrau, glistrau. Again. Affino. Affino. Affino is to leave, to release something. Yes, let go of, release. It's interesting that there are so many translations in English, but it would be so much easier to translate it into a different language. In Turkish, this would simply be bırakmak, or in Spanish, simply dejar. Even the German is more straightforward. Look, lassen. Is it lassen? Lassen. My sister speaks German very well, but I have very little knowledge of it. One day, maybe. One day. We'll see. In any case, I will say that was good. Good job. Good job, me. Okay, postpone. 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 Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't find it. Postpone, postpone, postpone. No, show me the answer. Anavalo. Anavalo. Yeah, a tricky one, this. Anavalo. I always forget this one. Can we solve this? I've tried to remember it as a combination of the names Anna and Valerie. I tried to imagine some kind of scenario where a woman called Anna and a woman called Valerie need to postpone some kind of romantic meeting or something, some kind of forbidden romance. I'll remember that now, I think. Anavalo. Anavalo. It's a very memorable image. Okay. We'll do it again. Anazitao. Anazitao. Ψάχνω. Yeah, this is to search. I think this, I'm not entirely sure, but I think this word is the more common of the two. Ψάχνω. Ψάχνω. Very difficult to remember. How can you remember a word like this? Ψάχνω. Any suggestions you have, please leave a comment. I would love to have one or two more comments thus far. I have not had so many. I'm always happy to receive a comment. But, be nice. If you're just going to say that my Greek sucks, I'd rather you kept that to yourself. My Greek does suck. But this is the result of maybe 2 weeks' work. And even then I took a break, so cut me some slack, huh? Anyway, this will be look for. Yes, good. But I know I still don't know this word very well. I'm going to give that a hard rating. Order, send for. This came up in a reading I was doing. And for a short time I knew it. But now it's gone. There's a g sound in it. Ago, aga, organ, organum. completely wrong. Parangiello, parangiello, parangiello. Now how to remember a word like parangiello, parang. Actually, in Cyprus, where my family is from, the Turkish dialect that is spoken there is a little different, and in standard Turkish, the word for money is para. To say your money would be paran, paran, but in a Cypriot accent that becomes parang, parang. Yeah, so if I remember parang, your money is necessary when you make an order. When you order a pizza or something. Parang, parang, parang. Yell no, like to shout no. Can I use parang? Can I use your money? And in response you yell no. No, you can't use my money. Parang yell no. Like so many of these mnemonics, it seems very clever, very, very clever at the moment when you come up with it. But then, half the time you forget 2 or 3 minutes later. So, it makes you wonder how useful they really are. They can be very useful. But it's not always clear which ones will stick and which ones will slip away. But we hope for the best with this one. Parangiello. Parangiello. What's this? Insist. I know this one. This is epimeno. Epimeno. I like this one because the meaning emerges from the structure of the word. The meno means to stay. Meno means stay, to reside. Epi, as a prefix, implies upon, around. So, epimeno is literally to stay on something, to remain upon something. And those who are persistent and insistent remain in place. So, I'm going to look very foolish if this is not epimeno, but I'm sure it is epimeno. And there it is. Epimeno. Etymology is your friend. If you learn nothing else from listening to me today, take that away. Etymology is your friend if you can understand it. That's good. Happen before occur. There are several words in this deck that have exactly this meaning, and it's impossible, without looking at the context and having a much more involved understanding of the use of these words, exactly wherein the difference is. And in any case, I don't even remember the word. So, that's a fail in this case. Let's see. Tigeno. Well, I tried to remember this by thinking of ticks or something like that. Something about ticks in your hair. Well, I apologize for that image. But, sometimes you need an unusual or even gross image when you want to visualize these things in a way that sticks. But this didn't stick anyway, so I can't say that I've achieved anything with that particular mnemonic. But maybe now that I've explained it to you and embarrassed myself in this way, it will stick. Here's hoping. Okay. Piezo. This is something like to put. My mind is saying put, place, put something somewhere. Push. Thanks, brain. That was a big help. Well, we'll just take that as it is. To pay. Please, Ron, pay for me. Plirono. Ta-da! Okay, so sometimes these mnemonics work out in the end. But for how long? For how long? For how long? That's the question. We'll say good, pause, suspend. Now the other one, to postpone, was anavalo, and I remember distinctly that this was similar enough that I kept confusing them. So, what could it be then? What is similar to anavalo, but different? Something like anavazo. Is that it? Anavazo. Any Greek people listening are probably silently laughing to themselves. I hope that it is a relaxing and soothing laugh, gently laughing yourselves to sleep. Anastello. This is the problem, because these words are not actually very similar, but my mnemonics for remembering them are unfortunately somewhat similar, because again I'm using women's names. For postpone, I imagined a romantic tryst between Anna and Valerie, Anavalo. And here I had some image about another couple called Anna, Anna and Stella. And God only knows what their story is. But there's nothing about the names that connects them to the concept. So maybe it's time to think of something different. Stello could be something related to the stars or something. This is not the true etymology of the word. I don't remember the etymology of the word. And it may not be helpful, even if I did know it. But the point is for it to be memorable to you. So pause. Anastello. Ana is mother in Turkish. Could this be helpful? Anastello. Mother star. I can create this idea of some grand mythology where a mother star creates the universe, but she pauses on the 7th day. Or was it the 6th day? I'm not super religious, so if I'm modeling this concept on Christian mythology, well, whatever, this is a different story. So we're going to imagine the mother star, the Anastella, and we're going to imagine that she pauses to take a rest in the midst of creation. Stay tuned to see if that works at all. Place your bets now. Okay, so we're going to say no. Okay, slide, glistening street, right? So, glistrao. That sounds convincing, doesn't it? Okay, let's have a look. Exactly right, glistrao. Well, hard good. What do you think, guys? Did I do a good job there? I'll be generous to myself. I'll say that was okay. Postpone anavalo. Oh, wonderful. If anyone here can't read the Greek letters here, well, I'm not about to teach you. It's not that kind of channel. But hopefully you have some idea from hearing me say them and from looking at them as well. The alpha here is basically a letter A. It looks the same. It's pronounced somewhat similarly. This one that looks like a V is actually called ni. It's called ni, and it makes an N sound. This one is called beta in English, but in Greek it's called vita, and it's pronounced more like a V. And then this is lambda, which is pronounced like an L, so anavalo. Anyway, we did a good job, so I'll click good. Skopevo, this is to attempt, I think. To, intend to. It's a similar concept, we'll try it again. Make, build, create, repair. Make, build, create, repair. Make, build, create, repair. Now in German. Machen, herstellen, bauen, reparieren. I apologize to any German speakers. I'm not going to attempt to Dutch. Though I will. Why not? I'm here. I'm here, you're here. We have nothing better to do, I suppose. So, is that the same? Machen. Herstellen. Bauen. Reparieren. No, I have no idea. Oh, it's not important anyway. So, back to the Greek. I don't remember this word. Show answer. Vtiachno. Yeah. I had some kind of mnemonic for this, I think. But maybe I didn't. It's such an alien word, I wouldn't be surprised if I just didn't have a mnemonic for it. Well, if I did, I've forgotten it anyway. So let's try to figure something else out. This V sound, or the V letter, the letter tough, which is pronounced like a T. So how can we remember this? Vtiachno. Sounds like a bird beating its wings, doesn't it? Sounds like someone coughing. Is there an image there? Maybe a bird builds a nest and then coughs up some food for its chicks. Well, that's the best I have at the moment. Again, it's a graphic image, something interesting, something a little bit funny. Everything's easier to remember when it's funny. When it's not very funny, again, this is not a comedy channel. So, you've come to the wrong place if you're looking for jokes. No. Okay, let's say no. Order. Now what do we say? Parang yelno. Parang varme. Do you have money? And you yell no. Yell no. Parang yelno. Very confident about this. Fantastic. So happy. We'll say good. Need, require. Ooh. I feel like if I was reading a text and came across this, I would recognize it. I may even have it written down on one of the many pieces of scrap paper scattered around my desk. But I'm not going to look at those, because that would be cheating. And cheaters never prosper. Well, often they do, but I'm sure they don't enjoy it as much Well, maybe they do. But I don't know. What was I saying? Okay, need, require. It escapes me. So let's have a look. Χρειάζομαι. Yeah, okay. Χρειάζομαι. I did have a nice little mnemonic for this, which I had forgotten, but it's come back to me now. So that actually shows that I can keep using it, I think. So, in the late 90s, early 2000s, there was a popular science fiction series that I really enjoyed called Stargate SG-1. And there was a race of people in that show called the Jafar, who served the evil system lords, a group of intergalactic tyrants. And they had their own language. And when they wanted to call people to attention, they said, Kri, Kri, Jafar Kri, Jafar Kri. That meant, come, listen, pay attention, Jafar. So I imagine if they needed something, if they wanted something, they would say, Kri. Sorry about that, something just fell. Hope you didn't hear that. Let me just move some of my stuff here. Okay. So that's how I decided to remember this. I imagine a Jafar warrior in need of something, and he says, Kri, 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 Χρειάζομαι, Χρειάζομαι, Χρειάζομαι. Now I don't remember the exact terminology for this, but this is a verb that if you don't know much about verb forms in Greek, you may still have noticed that so far all of the verbs have ended with an O sound, written as a letter omega. But here we have an alpha iota, pronounced E. So, me here. So this ending, ome, is the first person singular present ending for the medio-passive voice. And in some verbs, the only forms that exist are medio-passive forms, so the verb is inherently medio-passive, which complicates its use, but this is something you just have to accept. This is one example of this. I think often this happens when there's something deeply personal or deeply egocentric about the nature of the verb. Perhaps needing is something of this nature. It's something very internal or something intimately related to the ego and one's sense of self. I'm sure better minds than mine have examined this topic in greater detail. But yes, it's interesting. Anyway, no, we were not successful. Happen, befall, occur. That was that Tigeno, ticks in your hair. What a terrible thing to happen. Yes, it was Tigeno. Let's say good. Ordinarily I might say bad, but let's move on. Piezo. That's the one that I thought was put, but actually it was push. So, yes, I've learned from my mistake. Good. Move out. Remove. Move out. Remove. Yeah. It's certainly on the tip of my tongue. Or maybe the mnemonic is on the tip of my tongue. this as a combination of elements rather than as a word as such. Does it have something to do with meno? Not sure. Metacomiso. Okay, so this element meta means afterwards. And this part here, comiso, I don't know what that means, but I think I invented some kind of meaning for it. That's right, I had this clever idea about a commie chef moving house. Well, he was some kind of metacommie, a commie beyond the scope of the normal mortal commie, the ultimate commie chef, the uber commie chef. And he has to move house because maybe his current house cannot contain the awesome power and scope of his comminess. Could be something like that. Or maybe something about a communist. Maybe both. It's a communistic commie chef who has surpassed the normal boundaries of human ability. Metacomiso. Let's embrace the absurdity. If you don't know, make it up. That's what I say. Etymology is your friend, as I said earlier, but there's no substitute for imagination. Metacomiso. Look at that again. Right, pause, suspend. Anastelno. Yes, our mother star, pausing to rest on the 7th or 6th or some day of the week. Let's say the 10th day, our universe will have a 10-day week, because why not? Anastelno. Oh no. Anastello. So close yet so far. We'll do it again. Feel compassion, have sympathy. Well, it doesn't say let us have mercy, but I remember that this word is actually related to sympathy. So it's like simpatho, or something like this. Sympathy, simpatho. Or is it another one of these media passives? So, simpathome. Oh, I'm going to risk it. I'm going to say simpathome. What? Oh no, again there's another word which is similar. But this is media passive. So, not a complete loss. Lipame. I would do something related to Dua Lipa, but I don't actually know who that is. I have a very poor grasp of popular music. In my opinion, no one's made a decent song in the past 20 years. So, well, I'm exaggerating slightly, but only slightly. Dark times for music enthusiasts. Like if you agree. Like if you don't agree as well, I just need the likes. Just like, leave a comment, subscribe, send me encouraging messages. Create a sympathetic Patreon page. Start sending me large amounts of money. All of these things, if you don't mind. Okay, Lipame. Well, okay, let's pretend I know who Dua Lipa is, and that I sympathize with her, or him, or it, or whatever it is. I'm honestly not sure. Okay, so, again. Scopevo. That was to intend, wasn't it? To intend. I had this idea of scoping out a house. Ev is house in Turkish. I know Turkish quite well, so I often use a combination of English and Turkish in my mnemonics because it just gives you more options. intend to scope out this house. It's not a great mnemonic because the story isn't deep enough. Why are we scoping out the house? What's the point? Who lives there? Well, maybe that will evolve in time. Anyway, to intend. Yes, okay, good. Let's say good. Okay, send, dispatch, transmit. Oh, this was another one I used a woman's name to remember. It's not that I have this obsession with women or women's names or anything. I am actually married and happily married. But, I don't know. So many of these sounds just seem to be similar to women's names. But it was something like, was this Stelno? Again, like Stella, remembering the name Stella. Stelno. Oh, that sounds like it might be right. Stelno. Okay, let's try it. Yeah, Stelno. And that's why I got confused with Anastelno before. I wasn't thinking of this word, but this word is in my brain somewhere. Somewhere lurking around the back streets of my subconscious. Stelno. Well, we remembered it anyway, but it was hard, so we click hard. Make, build, create, repair. Now I came up with something clever to remember this just a moment ago, didn't I? That's right, it was a bird, like a cuckoo or something, making a nest, and then spitting up food. So, something like that. Oh my god, I actually remembered it. That's marvelous. Fantastic. Let's say good. Echo. This just means have. Very simple. Okay, that's good. Think, ponder. Skip. Skip something. This is also medio passive. I remember it as being similar to skeptic, but it's not. Skeptafome. Ah, that's right. It's not skeptic because actually it's a first sound, so skeftazome. I think. Let's have a look. Oh, so close. Skeftome. I knew the beginning. I knew the first syllable. I knew that it ended with ome, and it was inherently medio passive, but the middle part is what got me. Skeftome. Well, let's just hope I remember that. Okay, fetch, bring. Yeah, this is related to ferrying something. The sound of it. So, is it like fano or farno? I think it's both farno. Oh, so close, because it's not an e. Sorry, it's not an a, it's an s sound. Ferno. Okay. Alright, to lack something. What do we lack? Oh, what's the word for lack? I used a mnemonic related to a house that lacked stairs. There's no stairs in the house. So something like sterno, but less stupid. Sterevo. Oh, it's not great. going to be that, is it? Let's have a look. Sterume. Sterume. Okay. Alright, well, it was something like that. Okay. Let, allow, permit. Let, allow, permit. Let, allow, permit. Oh, not sure, not sure, not sure. Let's look. Epitrepo. Yeah, this is another one that I had a mnemonic for, but it's just not a successful one. And I don't really understand the etymology for this word. Maybe I should look it up. Well, I will later. I tried to think of something like tripping over something. Why would you let someone trip? Well, maybe out of malice. I don't know. Okay, let's imagine that scenario. Letting someone trip purely out of malice. That's maybe a little more memorable. Schadenfreude. Letting them trip. Epitrepo. Okay. Need. Chryazome. Javagri. Javagri. Chryazome. Yes, get in. Okay. Imitate. Mimic. Oh, this has something to do with, or it reminds me of the Greek word mimesis, or rather the English pronunciation of the Greek word mimesis as a philosophical concept. But it's not exactly that. It's something like mu mimu, mimuma, mimamuma, mimimu. I don't really know. Mimume. Is that what I said? Did I say mimume? I may have accidentally said that, but I wasn't trying to. I was just making sounds. Mimume, mimume. Oh, it does sound silly. Mimume. It's sometimes difficult to remember things that sound silly. Sometimes things that sound silly are easier to remember because they're memorable by virtue of being silly. But sometimes the reason something sounds silly is that it sounds made up. It just sounds like a collection of nonsense sounds. And when something seems nonsensical, that can be difficult to remember. Then again, we all remember Monty Python, don't we? If you're not familiar with Monty Python, please stop listening and go watch some Monty Python. I'm trying to produce engaging, or let's say different content that will appeal to a certain audience, but I cannot contend with Monty Python. Monty Python is better than everything I have ever done or will ever do, so please, don't waste your time with me. Go watch some Python. Mimome, mimome. I cannot fathom how I can make a mnemonic for this. Mimome, mimome, mimome. I'll just try to remember it. Okay. For suspend, anavalo. I think, no. No, it was our mother star. Anastello. That's it. We almost fell into the trap. But we didn't. Okay, move out, remove. Yes, metacomiso. We were thinking of our super communistic commie chef, greater than all other human beings, the metacomiso. Good. Get, take, catch, grasp. I think this begins with a P. Okay, I've seen this before, but I have failed to learn it. Well, of course it sounds like piano, doesn't it, the instrument? What can we imagine? I'm going to the shops on my piano to get some stuff. There's an interesting image. Some kind of motorized piano. Some crazy, souped-up grand piano with wheels, and a steering wheel, and an engine, and all kinds of stuff. Piano. Okay, let's get some stuff in our piano car. Alright. Feel compassion, have mercy, pity. Was this the one that was similar to, Oh, don't fall into the trap. We said about Dua Lipa. Lipome, lipame, lipame. Yeah, lipame, thank you, Dua Lipa. Whoever or whatever you are. Lipame, lipame. Good. We click good. Mix, blend, stir. I know this one. This is anakatavo. Anakatavo. Anakatevo. Oh no. So close. I'll have to do that one again. But I remember this as someone called Anna. A lot of these mnemonics involve women called Anna. What can you do? So many of these words begin with Anna. And she has a cat, and the cat mixes things up. It's a messy cat. Anakatevo, anakatevo. I'll get it next time. I'll get it next time. Return, turn. This is it's related to gyrating. Girizo, I think. Girizo. Let's try it. Here now. Here now. Okay, so I already have the help from the concept of gyrating, a gyroscope, so I think that turns and returns, returns and returns. But let's reinforce that. Here now. It's been a year now, and you haven't returned to me. You haven't returned to me for a year now, a year now, a year now. Okay, we'll do it again. Sink, good Lord. How am I supposed to remember this? And yet, I think I do something. I made a mnemonic related to baptism. The idea of sinking, submerging someone in water. It's something like that, like Vathizo or something like that. It's not that, but it's something like that. Ah, it was that exactly. Oh no, it wasn't, because this is yeah, that letter. What is that letter? Ypsilon. So it's Vithizo, Vithizo. But I was so close. Let's do it again. Leo, Leome. Ah, yeah, this is to say. Yeah, this is part of our core vocabulary, so good to know. Happen, occur. Oh, this was Tigeno. Oh no. Oh no. Sinveno. Yeah, something with a similar meaning, isn't it? Alright. Just do it again. Fetch, bring. This is the one we got wrong last time. We said farno, but actually it was ferno. Ferno. Yeah. Ferno. But there's an alternative pronunciation. Ferno or ferro, I think. Yeah, ferno. Ferro. Good. Good. Apagorevo. Apagorevo. This is to ban, to forbid. And I made an interesting mnemonic for this. So this part here, görev, sounds similar to the Turkish görev, which means mission or duty. And apa, I'm not sure where I got this idea from, but it reminds me of grandfather. So I kind of thought that grandfather has been forbidden from doing his duty, whatever that is. I leave you to imagine what that might be, but he's not allowed to do it anymore. Apakorevo, so to forbid. And let's see, I'm right. Yes. Good, good. Let's say, it's still quite hard, it doesn't come immediately, so I'll say that. Okay, we got this one wrong last time. Skeftomy, skeftomy, skeftomy. Fantastic, skeftomy, good. Okay, this one's a little strange because some of these English translations seem a bit off. This doesn't seem to be a word, even filg. Filg. What's a filg? Is here drag for? I really don't know what that's supposed to mean. But here, come out, exit, etc. Yeah, those are words. Now to remember the Greek word, it was something with a vita, so like vikino or something, vikizo. It was something like that. Vigezo. Let's say vigeno. I think it's that, vigeno. Now it won't be this, will it? I will have embarrassed myself, but let's have a look. Oh no, vigeno. I was completely correct. Vigeno. Pure luck. I'll say that is hard. Okay, luck. Yeah, something about stairs, wasn't it? Sterevo. Oh, no, that's what I said last time. But it was something different, like sterome. Sterome. Was it? Close. This letter combination is pronounced oo, so it's sterume. Sterume. Steru. Steru. Sterume. Okay, so we were going to let something terrible happen. What was it? Someone's going to trip over. We're going to let them trip over. Epitrepo. 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 There we go. Schadenfreude to the rescue. Epitrepo. Epitrepo. I will say good for that one. Now what's this? Achristevo. This means to deteriorate, I think, to get worse, to go bad or something like that. Waste, misuse, take down. See, I got confused with the passive use. It's actually waste. Waste, that's the primary meaning. Okay, we'll do that one again. Imitate, this was the silly one, wasn't it? Mimume. That's it, mimume. Mimume, mimume, mimume. Mimume, 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 mimume. Mimume, 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 mimume. Let's see. Mimume, mimume. I'm not going to remember this later on. But right now, the silliness is certainly helping me. But there's a thing in memory. The more times you remember something organically, the easier it is to remember. The neurons that encode that memory become strengthened. sheath that insulates them and makes the signals faster, becomes thicker. And I know that because I read it somewhere. I am absolutely not an expert in that field at all. It's one of those things, you hear it and you repeat it, and it makes you sound clever. I know a million of those things. Things I only half understand, but you repeat them in the right context, and oh boy, do you sound clever. You absolutely do. Anyway, mimome. We got that right, let's say. Good. Feel. Yeah. I should know this, but I don't. Okay. Aesthanome. Such a long word for such a fundamental concept, don't you think? Aesthanome. I think I tried to remember this by referring to aesthetics or something. But yeah, that's not going to work, is it? Aesthanome. Oh hum. Is there a better way to remember this? I know that the Greek word for death is thanatos, which I find quite easy to remember, because it's a word that crops up in Western culture sometimes, particularly as, the name of the Greek god of death, and then in other things as well, in video games and stuff like that. It sometimes crops up. Can I use that? Oh, I had this really silly mnemonic to remember this, but it's useless. I'm not even going to repeat it because it's too silly and it's not memorable at all. So let's try for something else. Okay, so it's feeling, so we can remember that it's medium-passive, something personal, something intimately related to the self. So we just need to remember the esthan. Something like the name Esther. Look how I've gone to a woman's name again. What would Mr. Freud say about that? I'm not sure. Aesthanome. Let's try to use thanatos. So I feel thanatos approaching. I feel death approaching. Aesthanome. Okay. What was this? Take a piano. We're going to the shops on our piano car. Piano. Get in. Fantastic. Invite. Oh, this one was tricky. I remember this one being tricky. Nope. Or do I have it? It's so close. So close. Proskalo. Yeah, the mnemonic for this one is much more, or the mnemonic that I had for this one was not very visual, it was more about the words. The visual ones are often better. Proskalo. What image can you make for that? That is very tricky. Okay. Well, I think that's maybe enough for today. I will continue to study these verbs by myself, but I think that is enough for our video for today. So, I will thank you for joining me. I hope you have found this both relaxing and to a certain extent informative. If you'd like to see more content like this, don't forget to like and subscribe. And I would very much appreciate any comments or feedback you'd like to give me. So, thank you for coming.